Hello, my name is Benjamin Hart. I'm an American attorney and the Managing Director of Integrity Legal here in Bangkok, Thailand. As the title of this video suggests, we're discussing K-3 visas, specifically K-3 supplemental marriage visa applications associated with the spouses of American citizens. In this case, I'm kind of taking it from a Thailand perspective because we're based here in Bangkok. But that being said, we do handle these cases on a regional basis. So this video is not necessarily country specific. But again, most of my experience is having been dealt with the U.S. Embassy and Consular section of the embassy here in Bangkok. So let me first preface the rest of this video by saying I'm not going to sit here and list the type of questions they're going to ask. Instead, people need to sort of get their paradigm right with respect to how the interview works and the type of questions which are going to be asked. The interviewing officers at a U.S. embassy or consulate abroad are not particularly in the business of confusing immigrants or stumping them or creating consternation. They are simply functionaries, if you will, whose job it is to do the due diligence on somebody looking to come into the United States, ascertain if they have any legal grounds of inadmissibility present, and if they meet the requirements inherent to the visa application. Their job, again, it's not to intimidate or cause problems. If anything, they're just sort of there to make sure that the people that are going through the process are legitimate and doing what they say they are doing. If they are, it's not a sham marriage, for example, or a so-called marriage of convenience, and there are no legal ground of inadmissibility, which may be derived from either a criminal history or maybe not even a criminal history, but certain activities that have occurred which do rise to the level of being considered a legal ground of inadmissibility. They're also looking at one's visa status. They're looking at one's overstay status, if anyone's ever overstayed in the United States, one's prior record with immigration, for example. All of these things go into how the visa application adjudicator is going to go ahead and process that application. So bearing that in mind, a good legal professional such as myself, we have to sort of, in a sense, get into the headspace, if you will, of both the adjudicator and understand the underlying law pertaining to U.S. immigration so that we can advise our clients what we think are going to be possible questions in the interview. For example, I do this frequently, and also advise them on how to concisely and accurately answer those questions. This is not an exercise of dancing around or trying to provide sort of, I don't even know what the, colorful language or, flowery language, if you will. It's simply a matter of concisely and accurately conveying one's intentions, conveying one's situation, providing the relevant information that's requested, and moving through the process. As I said, a good legal professional is going to be able to sort of think about it not just from the perspective of the adjudicating officer, but also from the perspective of their client. In many cases, I find my clients are just very, very nervous when going into the interview process, and putting them at ease a little bit is something I try to do as best one can, because I think going through the immigration process, and I've been through an immigration process in my own, sort of going the other direction. And yes, it's a daunting task on the best of days. So my point being is a good legal professional basically tries to provide as much insight as possible to the applicant, the interviewing applicant, while simultaneously providing enough ability for that interviewing applicant to concisely and accurately explain themselves and get through the interview in such a way that it facilitates a streamlined, efficient processing of the underlying visa application.